Welcome to the Be Still podcast, a place where we read, reflect, react, and talk about things of a spiritual nature. My name is Eliza, and I am your host. So today we are on chapter 4 of Living Beyond Your Feelings with Joyce Meyer. I'm really enjoying it so far. I hope that you're getting something out of it. I've been getting something out of every chapter so far. Let's see. Let's just jump right into it. Hey, Scoot. Scoot's here. We're still out of our bacon snacks this week, so I'm tossing cheese for him every now and then, and he keeps coming over here to say, I'm done with my cheese, I want more. So say hi to the world, Scooty. I'll give you some more cheese. And let's get right into it. I already threw it, buddy. You gotta go find it. All right. Living beyond your feelings and your cravings. Oh my gosh, dog butt. Let me get chapter 4. Ah, yes, chapter 4. There, I've got a dog butt blocker because he's just being so polite right now. Our secrets make us sick. I recall a time when I had worked so hard for such a long period and had been around so many people all wanting a piece of me that I drove by my own office headquarters and stuck my tongue out on it. Oh, it's funny, but it's not. At that point, I didn't even want to hear the name Joyce Meyer. I wanted to go grocery shopping and bake a cake or sweep a floor. I wanted to do anything that would give me the feeling of being just a person, but I had let myself get out of balance by trying to be there for people too much, and I was deteriorating emotionally from the stress. How many of you have been in a situation like that? Balance. That's a key word that I feel like will, oh, here she goes. Yeah, balance is important. But after a time of rest and a change of pace, I was whole and ready to go to work again. I think a lot of people, and especially those in the public eye, can easily develop a habit of living a double life. They try to be what everyone wants them to be, and yet deep inside, they want privacy and the freedom to just be themselves. The truth is, they want both. They love what they are doing, and they are born to lead, to act, to sing, or teach, but they need balance. So that's what I'm saying, balance. If they deny their own needs and live just to please other people, they will eventually become dysfunctional in some way. Too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. I love people. I love to be with them and be there for them, but no matter how much we enjoy what we do, from time to time we need a break and a change of pace. One of the reasons we feel unhappy or upset at times is simply because we are driven by a need to please everyone and be accepted by them. We should not let people manipulate us. Don't get me started on that. That's another talk for another day. We'll get there. We cannot let their expectations control us. It's amazing how much we fear being totally honest with people. Even when I decided to share my little story about sticking my tongue out at my own office headquarters, I found myself wondering if I could be that honest and not disappoint people. We need more honesty like this in the world because, yeah, we're all human. Yeah, I decided to believe that my readers are mature enough to realize that although I truly love what I do, there are times when I get tired and just plain want to relax and have time to myself. That's completely understandable. One of my children had a particularly difficult time being the PK, or preacher's kid. Hello. Let me get him some more cheese. The PK. Yeah, that would be rough. That's a whole nother level of like expectations thrown on you. I asked him when he was older what the most difficult thing was for him, and after giving it some serious thought, he said, people's expectations. He told me that people always expected that he should not be a normal kid who makes mistakes like any other kid. Poor kid. They expected more because he was my son. If he talked out in class, a teacher might say, I would expect more of Joyce Meyer's son. How foolish that teacher was to put that kind of pressure on him. Even though he was my son, he still had to grow up and learn just as any other child would. Absolutely. People's expectations can be extremely unrealistic, and if we allow them to, they will pressure us terribly. Don't develop a plastic life and be filled with secrets that are making you sick just to meet people's expectations. I'm going to read that again because someone needs to hear it. Don't develop a plastic life and be filled with secrets that are making you sick just to meet people's expectations. Live honestly and truly, and God will give you the right friends who will encourage you to be real and genuine. In an effort to be honest, a woman once said to me, I just felt I needed to come clean and tell you that I have not liked you for years, and I have gossiped about you, and I would like you to forgive me. I forgave her, but what she did was foolish. She cleansed her conscience at the expense of dumping her problem on me. Now I had to deal with it and resist wondering why she didn't like me, what she had said about me, and to whom she had spoken. She, in essence, created a whole nother problem. That is not the kind of honesty God is talking about. There are some things we should keep to ourselves out of wisdom, or between us and God, let him deal with it and then say what we're supposed to say type thing. We do want to live truly, but the Bible does tell us to speak the truth in love. I have often wondered what kind of love made her share her secret with me. Good call. There are some things you should keep between you and God. We're on the same page here today. But some things must be brought out into the open. I know a Christian man who had an affair with another woman. When he decided that he didn't want to leave his wife for the woman, he also decided that he was not going to tell his wife about the affair. I don't think that's how it works, but let's see. His wife had known for quite some time that something was wrong and even asked him repeatedly if he was seeing another woman. We know. A lot of the times we know. We can't quite put a finger on it, but we feel it. I don't know exactly why that is, but women's intuition, God, but we know. There was no way they could build a healthy relationship on lies. It's impossible. I told him that he had to be totally honest with her and pray she would find the grace to forgive him and try and rebuild the marriage. If he tried to go forward embedded in the deception, he would likely end up doing the same thing again. What we hide still has authority over us and creates fear. That is key. What we hide still has authority over us and creates fear. His problem still had to be dealt with. He needed counseling to find out why he had been unfaithful to his wife. The man could not ignore the situation and deal with it at the same time. That was a secret that would have made him and his marriage sick. I have an example from my own life that may be helpful. When I was 20 years old, and that has been a long time ago, I stole money from a company I worked for. This is one of the reasons I love Joyce. She just says some things she says some brutally honest things about her own life sometimes. The man I was married to at the time was a petty thief, and he convinced me to write some payroll checks and we would cash them and quietly get out of town. I am not blaming him because I should have said no, but there are times in life when we let people we love talk us into things that go against our consciences. And when we do, it always ends up bad. Yeah. We did cash the checks and leave town, but eventually we came back, and sure enough, there was an ongoing investigation about the stolen money. I was questioned, told more lies, and escaped being accused of the crime. My husband cheated on me with other women, stole property, and eventually was arrested and went to prison. We got a divorce, and many years later, married to someone else and about to enter the ministry, I knew that I had to go to the company I'd stolen from, admit my theft, and put back the money. Wow, what if they had me arrested? I was so frightened, but I knew I had to obey God. I could not go forward until that thing from my past was confronted. I went to the company and explained what I had done, and now I was a Christian and wanted to ask for their forgiveness and pay back the money. They graciously let me do so, and I was set free from the nagging fear that same day. that someday I might get caught. I am convinced that had I not obeyed God, I would not be in ministry today. God is willing to forgive us for anything, but we must confess it and make restitution whenever possible. That's good. If God tells you to bring something out into the open or confront a situation from your past, be obedient to him. He is letting you know the issue is holding you back from what is best for you. Always pray about when and how to confront things, especially things that have been buried for a long time. Remember, emotional stability comes through learning to live truthfully. Perhaps after reading this, you feel that something hidden inside of you is poisoning your life and you want to confront it, but are not sure if it would be the best for everyone concerned. I suggest that you pray first, and if you are still not clear on what action to take, speak to a spiritual leader whom you trust or a counselor to get some advice. As I mentioned earlier, we always want to speak the truth in love, and we want our sharing to bring closure, not create more wounds. So there's some discernment that needs to be at play there as well. Don't you dare tell. It would be amazing to know how many people in our society are mentally, physically, or emotionally sick from carrying around secrets buried inside that are eating away at them like cancer. If you are one of those people, please start talking to God, and either he will completely relieve your burden or he will lead you in what to do next. It is dangerous to merely ignore things that need to be dealt with. That is, yeah, you're going to have to deal with it one day. Or not. I mean, God's will for all of us is wholeness. It is not living with our souls full of holes and watching our lives leak out day after day. Bringing hidden things out into the open is admittedly difficult at times, but it is much more difficult to keep them hidden and live in fear of being discovered. You might need to talk to a trusted spiritual leader, a loving family member, a friend, or a counselor. God will direct your steps if you will go to him and tell him you are fully willing to stop letting secrets make you sick. Having an intimate relationship with God means you can and should talk to him openly and honestly about anything and everything. The more you talk to God, the better off you are. During the years I was being abused, I talked to God. Even though it was in my own childish way and not very polished, the point was that I could not talk to anyone else. But I did talk to God, and I believe it got me through those difficult years. One reason we find it so difficult to share our secrets is that it is often hard to find someone to talk to whom we can trust. We can't control what others do, but we can learn to be a faithful friend. When someone tells you something in confidence, never tell anyone else. If they tell you something that shocks or surprises you, do your best not to act shocked or surprised, and don't judge them. The purpose for bringing things out into the open is for restoration, not for criticism and judging. Brethren, if any person is overtaken in misconduct or sin of any sort, you who are spiritual, who are responsive to and controlled by the Spirit, should set him right and restore and reinstate him, without any sense of superiority and with all gentleness, keeping an attentive eye on yourself, lest you should be tempted also. Bear, endure, carry one another's burdens and troublesome moral faults, and in this way fulfill and observe perfectly the law of Christ. That's Galatians 6, 1 and 2. The law of Christ is love. If all things are done in love, they are always handled properly. God is long-suffering and patient, and we should strive to be the way he is. We should always treat people who come to us and share their secrets as we would want to be treated. That's really good. Growing up, I kind of struggled with setting people right. I don't know. I think that can be something that is, when it's not done in love, it can have detrimental effects. I'll say it there, like it's important if you're choosing to try and correct someone, that you make sure that God wants you to do it and that you are doing it in love. And yeah, I don't know. Be careful. Our next section is people with secrets. Margaret had a child at the age of 15, and her parents forced her to give the baby up for adoption. It was not her choice, but her family convinced her it was the best thing for all concerned. Margaret grew up, got married, and had 4 more children. She never told anyone about the baby girl she had given away when she was 15. The years went by and adoption laws changed, allowing adopted children to contact their birth parents. One day, Margaret was home alone and her doorbell rang. She opened the door to a beautiful young lady who said she was her daughter. Joy and fear hit Margaret at the same time. She reacted emotionally, and without really even thinking about what she was doing, she told the young lady that she was mistaken and asked her to never come back. What? Okay, I need to keep reading. The girl went away sad and brokenhearted, feeling even more rejected than before. Oh my goodness. Over the next 2 months, Margaret became more and more miserable as each day went by. I don't want to say good, but like, wow. Margaret had a variety of health problems for years, and the doctor always told her it was stress, but she never connected the dots between the secret and the stress. Secrets do stress us out, that's for sure. She was now having excruciating headaches and insomnia. Her family realized that something was wrong and continued to press her for an answer. Finally, Margaret felt like she would die if she didn't tell the truth, so she told her husband and the children about the baby girl. To her surprise, they were not angry. So that's so sad. She sent the poor girl away because she was afraid of what her family would do if they found out. And now everyone's getting re-hurt all over again. Oh my goodness. Their only disappointment was that she had never trusted in their love for her enough to tell them. The children regretted that they had a sister that they had never seen and wanted to meet her. Margaret had kept a secret for many years that was not necessary to keep. She was convinced that her family would reject her if they knew the truth, but she discovered that they loved her enough to accept her imperfection. They searched and found the baby girl, who is now a woman named Meredith. Thankfully, she had been adopted and raised by parents who loved her very much. That's good. Meredith felt that God had been leading her to find her birth mother, and although some emotional healing was needed, they all recovered and both families became friends. Yay! It is amazing what God can do if we will be honest and trust Him. That's so true. During the years I was being sexually abused by my father, he always stressed that it had to be a secret. That makes me so... anger. During the years I was being... It was definitely a secret, and it ended up making me mentally and emotionally sick. He said it. I told people, they would not believe me, and I would just cause trouble for everyone. The unhealed part of me wants to have like 10 seconds alone with this man in a baseball bat. I'm gonna be honest, like, God, I need help. He assured me that there was nothing wrong with what he was doing, but that people just wouldn't understand. I'm getting more and more mad. I had not yet learned that if we have to hide something, it usually means something is wrong with it. Many, many years later, when I finally did confront my father, he tried to tell me that he did not know what he was doing was wrong, and he had no idea it was hurting me. Oh my gosh. Like, this poor lady. But God is all I have to say about this. It was obvious to me that if he had not known it was wrong, he wouldn't have told me to keep a secret. God is good, and he showed her that. My mother knew what my father was doing, but did not confront it, and the secret made her sick. After years of hiding from the truth because she was afraid of the scandal, she had a nervous breakdown, and she had to take shock treatments for 2 years. Her nerves were damaged from the trauma of keeping the secret so many years, and she has taken anxiety medicine ever since. Her fear forced her to keep a secret that made her sick. I did not tell anyone my secret until I was nearly 23 years old, and I remember shaking violently each time I tried to talk about it. It was buried so deeply in me that it was hard to bring it out into the open. I was terribly afraid of what people would think of me. I found most people to be very compassionate. My husband was wonderful, and in later years, as I told my children, they of course were wonderful too. I have met women as old as 80 who were sexually abused and never told anyone. How sad for them that they did not know the value of telling the truth. I am sure most of them existed with dysfunctional personalities and had fear as their constant companion. And fear is a nasty spirit, it sure is. Sally was a prostitute for 7 years, and during that time she had 3 abortions. It was a lifestyle she sort of fell into after becoming involved with the drug culture as a teenager. She eventually got away from it and tried to do life right, but she seemed to fail at everything. She was married and divorced 3 times by the time she was 40. She had 2 children, but their fathers had custody of them because Sally kept going back to drugs and alcohol. She really wanted to get well, but she kept her secrets. Eventually, she had a complete mental and physical collapse, and while she was in the hospital, she met a wonderful Christian nurse who led her into a relationship with God. Once she realized that God loved her and forgave her sins, she was able to bring her secrets of prostitution and abortion out into the open. The people she had hurt along the way were not as willing to forgive her as she had hoped, but she was able eventually to begin a new life and build a new family. She continues to trust God for healing between her and her 2 other children. These stories show us that secrets open the door to fear and worry. I want you to know that you do not have to live with secrets that allow negative emotions to control you. Our feelings are real and they are powerful, but they are not more powerful than God and truth. Anyone can have emotional wholeness if they learn the principles in this book and put them into action in their lives. Always remember, the truth will make you free. That's a good one. Decision and confession. The truth will make me free. All right. What do you guys think about this chapter? Our secrets make us sick. I think that's definitely some good truth. And if you're not sure, if you've got a secret weighing on your heart and you're not sure how to handle it, go to God, pray, look up verses in the Bible that pertain to it. And if you're still unsure about what to do, talk to a pastor or someone, a counselor, Christian counselor, someone who might be able to point you in the right direction. Our next chapter is I Wish I Didn't Feel This Way. So we'll tackle that one next week. And until next week, guys, stay safe. Work on those secrets if you still got any. And love on the people that God has blessed you with. And we'll see you next week. Bye.